What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, Tom Pelissero had a very interesting quote on Sam Darnold and where he could land this year in free agency, and then also Byron Murphy Jr. Is an extension coming? Well, Darren Wolfson had some interesting quotes on that situation. So share with you guys all that info on today's show. But before we dive into it, let me just get a little check of the pulse of the fan base here real quick. Who do you guys want to be QB1 next season for the Minnesota Vikings? If it's Sam Darnold, type his jersey number, type those 14s down below. But if you're rocking with the man from Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, type those 9s. Just trying to see where you guys are at as we're a couple of weeks into the offseason already. But you guys let me know who will be QB1 for your Minnesota Vikings next year. Now, I want to get a quick take out there, because I still see a lot of people saying, oh, we need to bring Sam Darnold back. He won 14 games. He had a very solid season. And I understand that. And I still think Sam Darnold is a top 15-ish quarterback in the National Football League. But why I think this answer is clear onto pretty much turn the franchise over to J.J. McCarthy is I think Sam Darnold will limit your ceiling. I still think if the Vikings brought Sam Darnold back on a 4-year, $120 million deal, we would be a very, very good football team. But would we be great? Absolutely not. There are too many holes on this roster to fill. So if you guys want the Vikings to go 10-7 for the next 4 seasons, I think Sam Darnold is your guy. But let's check out what Tom Pelissero had to say on Darnold possibly returning to Minnesota, saying, I would say on paper the most logical outcome of this is Sam Darnold still in Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy missed his entire rookie season coming off knee surgery. They believe in him. They're not trading J.J. McCarthy. But there's no precedent for a guy missing an entire year of reps as a rookie and coming back and playing again like it hasn't happened. Now, just one massive problem I have had with, some of the big media guys covering the NFL this offseason, like Tom Pelissero, like Adam Schefter, and I don't fully mean to call them out when I'm saying this, but I think they have done a terrible job just understanding the Darnold Minnesota Vikings situation. Like every big-time guy you hear, like Schefter, Tom Pelissero, they all are predicting that Sam Darnold comes back to the Minnesota Vikings. Me personally and other guys who are way more involved with covering this football team, we would all be shocked if under center next season is Sam Darnold. I just don't think they understand how the Vikings, financially are set up for the next 4 years, where they are set up to have a rookie quarterback. And I think the biggest reason for this is the national media is just sleeping on J.J. McCarthy. I think this torn meniscus, and yes, it is a serious surgery. I'm not trying to, undervalue what J.J. has gone through this season, but I think people are overreacting to this completely. Honestly, now the main topic of conversation is J.J., can he return to who he was before the knee surgery? This was a minor procedure. I don't think it's that big of a deal, and I am a big believer in this guy. And what Pelissero was talking about, the rep situation with JJ, well, also they don't understand that JJ's been rocking the VR headset all season long, getting those mental reps in there, and he's also already throwing on the field. I'm not a big believer, or I'm not a big guy that's concerned about the J.J. McCarthy injury, so I think it's, 99% likely that he would be QB1 next season for the Vikes. But let's talk about where Sam Darnold could go. And I think there's honestly 3 main teams where Sam Darnold could land. And, I think the one that's getting talked about the most is the Las Vegas Raiders, and we'll talk about a report here in a second. But you also got the New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are also some teams that could be trying to land Sam Darnold this year in free agency. But if I had to kind of call where Darnold goes, I think it's one of these 3 teams. Maybe you could throw in a team like the Colts in there who could potentially try to swing big. Maybe the Titans, if they don't love, drafting Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, and they just want to take Travis Hunter and then maybe able to go throw big bucks this free agency to a guy like Sam Darnold. But, I just am in a spot right now with this Vikings quarterback situation where I just think it is way too underreported on the Vikings, personal love they have for J.J. McCarthy instead of Sam Darnold. But I do want to talk about Sam Darnold heading to the Las Vegas Raiders here for a second. So this is coming in from ESPN, Benjamin Solak, who said this to say about Darnold signing with the Raiders, saying, with $73.2 million in projected cap space for 2025, the Raiders will have the cash on hand to sign Darnold to a front-loaded deal. Perhaps one reported as a 4-year contract, but really built felt more like a 2-year trial. Las Vegas just tried its hand at the free agent quarterback market, having signed Gardner Minshew to a 2-year, $25 million deal last offseason. That obviously did not go well for the Raiders. Gardner did not look like the guy he was with the Indianapolis Colts the year before. But, in terms of the Steelers and Raiders, as those are two teams that are, pretty well reported to have some sort of interest in Sam Darnold, I think it's going to come down to Russell Wilson. Like, if Russell Wilson decides and the Pittsburgh Steelers decide, hey, we want to run this back for one more year, then I think the Sam Darnold, rumors of him heading to the Las Vegas Raiders will obviously ramp up. But what if Russ wants to reconnect with Pete Carroll in Las Vegas? Then I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will be a big player in the Sam Darnold free agency run. So that's where I kind of have it sitting right now. Raiders, Steelers, I think they're most likely. But then also, like what you say, the New York Giants, if they don't want to draft the rookie quarterback this season, then they will definitely be in play for Sam Darnold. But I want to go back in time here real quick. I was watching Sam Darnold's tape a couple of days ago and just watching all the good memories from the season, man. It almost hurt the watch a little bit. But let me ask you guys this. What is your favorite Sam Darnold memory from last season? For me, it's either the 97-yard touchdown he threw, week 2 versus San Francisco 49ers to Justin Jefferson, or the game winner he had to Jefferson against the Seattle Seahawks. But hey, you guys let me know, what was your favorite Darnold memory from last season? Now we'll dive into the latest around cornerback Byron Murphy Jr. here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. And what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Now, they got a free pick for you guys for the big game, or only one Patrick Mahomes passing yard will get you 1 win on PrizePicks. So when you're creating these lineups 2 Sundays from now, make sure you guys include this. It's a free pick for you guys. PrizePicks is hooking it up. And if you guys also want to get that $50 instantly, just make sure you plug in that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you download the app and after you obviously play your first $5 lineup. But download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. But massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's talk about it. Byron Murphy, what's the latest going on with his contract extension talks with the Minnesota Vikings? As I fully believe this is one of the biggest, storylines around the Vikings offseason. It's not a flashy story to the national media, but I do think it's a big-time story for us Vikings fans, is what they're going to do with Byron Murphy. Well, Darren Wolfson had a very interesting quote on Murph, and this is what he had to say. He says, he wants to be here for the rest of his career. That's how much Byron Murphy likes being a Viking. Now, he was just asked, what's the latest with where they stand in bringing back Byron Murphy. But I think my number one priority in free agency is re-signing Byron Murphy. We can talk about the offensive line, we can talk about the defensive line, but I think it starts at that cornerback position. Considering you have one of the better cornerbacks in the National Football League who wants to remain on your team, I think re-signing him is priority number one over tossing money to a Trey Smith, Drew Dahlman, or even an Osa from the Cowboys. I would rather just have the Vikings on their bulletin board, hey, number one, we got to bring back Byron Murphy, because he also had a great year for the Vikes this past season. I mean, had 6 interceptions. 5 of those came in the fourth quarter. He really was the closer for this defense. And plus, he's familiar with Flores' system. That is so key, since Flores does run a very unique system. It takes guys a little bit to just get adjusted to it. I mean, I think we saw a perfect example was a guy like Dallas Turner, all the talent in the world, first-round pick out of Alabama. But was he able to crack this rotation consistently this past season? No, and a big reason for that was because he wasn't really familiar with it. He was only 21 years old. It's tough for a young guy like that to, fully understand the ins and outs of Brian Flores and what he likes to do. But let's just say the Vikings do not bring back Byron Murphy. There are 5 other guys out there that, I think could give you similar production from that cornerback spot. Number one here, DJ Reed. Played this last season with the New York Jets. Then you have Charvarius Ward of the San Francisco 49ers, Rasul Douglas of the Bills. Actually, PFF will link Douglas to the Vikings a couple of days ago. But then also Carlton Davis III, Asante Samuel Jr. I would actually watch out for Asante Samuel. He had a down year this past year, but he was actually way better than Murph back in that 2022 season. So watch out for the Vikings maybe targeting him if they don't bring back Byron Murphy. But, whatever the Vikings decide to do here on Byron Murphy will tell us a lot about how they handle this whole free agency period. And, what do I mean by that? So let's just say we get the report. All right, Vikings are bringing back Byron Murphy for $17 million per season for 3 years. Then I think it will indicate to me that, Cameron Bynum is more likely to walk. But let's just say they bring back both those guys. Then that's going to limit yourself to how much money you're going to allocate to both sides of the football on the line of scrimmage. Like if you give Murphy, let's just say he blows us away, gets $19 million, and Cam Bynum gets $13 million. And then you're looking at a guy like Trey Smith. Do you really want to toss him 21? Drew Dahlman, you want to toss him 15 million? I just think this is going to be the biggest domino to fall, assuming Sam Darnold walks. Obviously, if Sam Darnold returns, then we got to pretty much change up our entire plans for this offseason. And then maybe it doesn't make sense to bring back Byron Murphy. But if Sam Darnold does walk, bringing back Byron Murphy is priority number one for me. But I'll ask you guys this. Would you re-sign Byron Murphy? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. I'm assuming I'm going to see a lot of Ys for yeses down below in the comment section. Had a good year with the Vikes. I just think it makes a whole lot of sense to bring him back next season. But also, if you guys want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's a handle right there, @PatSiepes. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. Thank you guys so much for watching today's show. As always, let's go Vikes.